kings of neighboring countries attacked, snatched the kingdom of another country. Whenever a neighboring king became powerful, he tried to extend its area of influence, its power, and in order to do that, he tried to defeat the neighboring country and to be king of that country also. India is the only country where the king never attacked any other country outside, even in Copper Age or Iron Age. It is because the deities, our ancestors, they never did it, nor were they ever afraid of it. So, by means of this power of yoga, we are able to attain sovereignty. One of its attributes is Atal. Not Atal Bihari Vajpayee, you see, but Atal. He is called Atal Bihari Vajpayee, but people try to make him not Atal but Tal, They want to dislodge him. In India now, Karan Singh is fighting elections against him. What for? To dislodge him. So, we get Atal Kingdom. And Akhand. It's not that the kingdom has a particular geographical, physical or physico-geographical boundaries, but one is only the world sovereign, so that the kingdom is undivided. Here in our country, there is problem of Kashmir. Pakistan says that Kashmir belongs to their country. India says no, Kashmir is an inalienable part of India. So many people have died over this issue, been killed. So much money has been spent where there are poor people, unemployed people who can't have both ends meals because they want to have this territory. So there is no dispute there. It is Akhand. Not only is the land undivided without any dispute, but here, if the aeroplane of a country enters the airspace of another country, they shoot it down. Up to this country is your airspace, and after that begins our airspace. So also with the oceans, if there is a particular limit that up to so many miles, the ship of another country cannot enter into your waters. If it does, there is the international law which empowers you to take action against it. What happened in Kargil? The Pakistan aeroplane was shot by India, and now Pakistan has raised that question in International Court of Justice. Why they did it? Because even the airspace is divided, even the seas are divided. But by means of yoga power, we are able to have Akhand kingdom. Akhand, which has no deviance. You don't require any passport or visa. to paste your photos on it, declare your parenthood, your nationality, ethnicity, and so on. And even then, you may not be given any visa. You have freedom. Here also, freedom is one of the most important slogans. But what kind of freedom it is? Moth-eaten freedom, not full-fledged freedom. Their freedom, complete freedom. You want to go to this place, that place, any place, even for picnic. Take your own aeroplane, that wooden khatola, as we call it. It is like a khatola, and go anywhere you like. So it is akhand. And then nirvigna. Even the elements, 5 elements as we call them, air, water, earth and fire and so on, they don't put any obstacle. We have earthquakes now in Taiwan. So many people died. They are buried in the debris. You see, there are people trying to extricate them out of it. So happened in Turkey. It happens from time to time at one place or the other. They build their houses at such a huge cost. They have the shelter to hide their head and to protect themselves from the vagaries of nature and to live comfortably. And suddenly what happens is there is natural fury and the big buildings, the hotels, are razed to the grounds. If you see the pictures, the whole block, suppose there was a building of 10 flats, 10 stories. Now those 10 stories are intact, but the whole lot has fallen on the ground. Baba says this will happen like house of cards at the end of this. So these natural calamities, very often there is typhoon, as there was in America. Kennedy had to, Clinton had to cancel his stay at New Zealand and come back immediately because of the typhoon. At one place or the other, one fury of nature or the other. So it is not nirvigna. There are vigna. And atal, akhand, nirvigna, ati sukhkari. This is the culmination of it. Ati sukhkari. You have all kinds of happiness. There is affluence. Not that there is inflation every year or recession in business, or sometimes you are worried about your factory and industry. The government laws have changed and you are affected. And there is a strike by the workers, So many kinds. There are pinpricks here. You are not able to allowed to live in peace, in happiness, always. Today, a person may be a rich person. Tomorrow he becomes a beggar, losing everything in the business, becomes insolvent, is not able to pay back his creditors. So, many things happen. It is not sukhkari. There are things to eat, lot of them. But there are preservatives added to them. There are such kind of dangerous fertilizers and all sorts of things, artificial things. We get banana because it is not grown in our country. It comes from some other country. So how many days it takes? It comes in its raw form and then some chemicals are applied to make it mature so that we can eat. And when we eat it, it begins to eat us. You see, what we eat. That is what happens. In Hindi, they call it Anna. Hindi and Sanskrit. Anna. Anaj, you know. Anaj is a Hindi word, a Hindustani word. But Sanskrit word is Annam. And Anna means that which you eat. It also means that which eats you. You see, it is both ways. Because when you eat something, you have to use your enzymes, your stomach. Many parts of your body begin to work on it. Even you use your teeth because you have to munch it, to chew it, to make the cud of it. Then only you can gulp it, put it down your throat. So, they are used, and then therefore it is wear and tear. So that food which you take in order to have energy, it requires energy to be consumed. Not only are you getting energy, but you are consuming energy also, both ways. But there it is also nourishing. Here they say take balanced food, take nutritious food. Their things are nutritious, very natural. Baba has been saying us time to time. So it is miraculous, wonderful yoga. We should be so happy that we came here and Baba gave us guidance to have this kind of yoga, which enables us to have all these things together. A person may have a political power, but he may not have good health. He may have health and power, but people may have some scandals about him. They may say that he did acts of corruption, like Yeltsin nowadays, how he has been doing money laundering and all that, you see. But there you have Ati Sukhkari, all kinds of happiness and joy. No problem, no worry, no disease, you see, no fear, very good health. Therefore Baba says, ever healthy, ever wealthy, ever happy. Shouldn't then we practice this kind of meditation? If our future for such a long time depends upon our this kind of practice, which is very natural, very easy, because it is your, as I was telling the other day, your innate ability to remember. No one teaches no one else how to remember. We all know from the time of our very birth, we remember. So much so that they say that a baby weeps sometimes, and sometimes it laughs, the baby. Those who see the baby in the cradle, or who fondle the baby, they can see sometimes the baby saying meow meow, weeping, you see. At other times, laughing. Why? It remembers. They say at least up to 3 years, or 3.5, or 4 years, it remembers its past life. If it knew the language, if its organs of speech were developed enough, it could have told you. So there are some children who tell you the story of their past life when they grow up. So there are exceptions. There are some cases where even at such an age as 10 or 20 or 12, people can tell you about their past life. But everyone, without exception, they say every child remembers the past life for at least 3.5 years or 4 years. Many tests like that have been done. So, remembrance is very natural to us. It is inborn. You have not to learn it. And Baba says yoga is nothing but remembrance. Yaad ki yatra. It is pilgrimage of remembrance. Why pilgrimage? Why Yaad ki yatra? He could have simply said it is Yaad, remembrance. Remembrance it is, no doubt, but it is pilgrimage of remembrance. Yaad ki yatra. How? When there is a pilgrim, he wants to visit some holy places, sacred places, places where some saints, some high-souled persons, some Mahatmas have stayed, and they spread vibrations of purity. They had tyag, they did tapasya, and they gave some good teachings to the other people. They gave up their desires and ambitiousness and became people who just were absorbed in their meditation. If they just come to know of such a place, they call it a holy place. Madhuban, for example, is a holy place. So when a person goes to a holy place like Madhuban, like Haridwar, as some people think, it is a pilgrimage, Amarnath, so on, other places. So from the very moment they go, it is in their mind. We are going to Madhuban. The day you decide that you are going to Madhuban to meet Bab Dada, your pilgrimage has started. Even if you have not boarded the aeroplane, you have not even gone to the airport, your journey has to start a few days afterwards. But mentally speaking, your pilgrimage has started, going to meet Baba. Someone asks you about your program, you say, on such and such date, I will be going to Madhuban. And when you say this, you say it with a smile, I will be going to Madhuban. Then at that time your face changes, you see. Because the pilgrimage has started, it is a holy place when you think of it. So also it is pilgrimage of remembrance, not mere remembrance. Because the moment you think of Shiv Baba, you also think of Paramdham. Where is Shiv Baba after all? When you think of a person, you naturally think of the abode of that person, the place where he lives. If you think of some of your blood relatives who are in Bombay, for example, you think also of Bombay. In which flight, which story that person lives. If you have been to the place, your mind flies immediately from London to Bombay, you see. So the mind travels at a speed faster than light. The pilgrimage is there. Any kind of journey is a journey, but this kind of journey which makes you go to a holy place with a holy remembrance, which has a calming effect on you and makes your mind pure at that time, you are happy with it, then it is a pilgrimage, remembrance of pilgrimage. Like people going to Makkah, for example. You just see when they go to the airport, many of them flocking together and talking together. You see what they talk about, how they feel and so on. Since many days they have been trying to do it. So it is pilgrimage.